Good morning, everyone. This is Jessica with K&A Greenhouse. I'm at the Mineral Point Road location today. I thought we would go over a couple of the dwarf hydrangeas that we offer. I've gotten a lot of questions about long blooming plants and dwarf plants, and specifically dwarf hydrangeas. So I thought I would go over those while we're still a little bit quiet here. And we don't have all of them quite in stock, so there's a couple more that will be coming in the middle of August, but I'll go over the ones that we do have here today. The first one I would like to go over is called Bobo. You can see the plethora of flowers that show up on this little guy. His mature height is 2 to 3 feet tall and 2 to 3 feet wide. It's in Wisconsin probably closer to a 2 foot than a 3 foot. So this is definitely our shortest dwarf hydrangea. You can see how tiny the little florets on those are, but they make up quite a large cone-shaped flower. This one does prefer full sun. It will tolerate about 4 hours of sun, but that's kind of the minimum amount of sunlight that it will take. And if possible, it does prefer the west side. If you only have a half of a day of sun, it prefers west sun versus east sun. Most of these panicle hydrangeas prefer it to be hot and dry once they get established. And this one here is called Little Lime. You can kind of tell by the color here of why it's called Little Lime. Mature height on this one varies from 3 feet up to 5 feet actually, depending on how much you prune it and your soil conditions, how much light you're going to give it. Again, this is a panicle hydrangea, so it's definitely a full sun to part sun plant. I typically really like the way you can kind of see here how it has the green florets, but kind of pronounced white center on those. It almost looks like buttons on like a quilt or blanket. This one does start out green, changes to white, and then when we get those cool nights in August and September, you'll get the kind of dusty pink coloration on it with the age. And this one does bloom quite a long time. Most panicle hydrangeas will bloom up to 2, sometimes even 3 months long. So it's a nice addition to a garden if you're looking for something that has later summer blooms. Now this one is called Little Quickfire. You can see this flower has just started on it. So it has the more of the white coloring, but then a hint of the pink right there. These two flowers are definitely, they've been out for quite a while, so this is the aged flower. And as the summer goes on, you'll start to see these flowers turn more of a brown, so then you have that dried hydrangea flower, the flower head on there. Again, this is a panicle hydrangea, again with the cone-shaped flower. You'll want to plant that in full sun to part sun. And this one, the mature height, again, like Little Lime, is a 3 to 5 foot, depending on how much you prune it, the light that you're going to give it, and soil types, things like that. Another cute little thing, some people really like, you can see here the red stems on some plants. So this one has those really cool red stems on it too, for just a little added interest. This guy comes to us from our friends up in Canada. It's a mountain hydrangea, so it does tolerate more shade. Technically, my sales rep says it is part sun to full shade. I had it in full sun at some point during the season, and the leaves started to turn more maroon and purple, just because it was stressed out from being in too much sun. So definitely keep it in 4 hours or less of sunshine. The mountain hydrangea tend to bloom a little bit more reliably in Wisconsin. So you can see here, we've got the lace cap pink flowers on it. Typically they'll bloom for about 2 months, and then this guy is a little bit stressed being in the pot yet, so you can see the leaf color here. That is going to be the fall color on it, so you do get a maroon purple fall color with this, usually in October when it's not in a pot. But I really like the detail of this pink lace cap flower here. Technically, the mountain hydrangeas will change flower color based on soil pH. Here in this area of the state, if you have clay soils, you will mostly see this pink color. If you treat it with the sulfur to get blue flowers, like with the endless summer types, that will also change this to more of a lavender color. You won't get a true blue with this type, but you can definitely work on your soil pH to see if you'd prefer a lavender color flower, or if you have sandy soil, typically you'll end up with a lavender colored flower with this one instead. So these here are new for us this year. This is the Bar Harbor that, if you watched my other YouTube videos, I was talking about the Dwarf Hydrangea. You can see these are mostly aged. They've been blooming for about 2 months already. So you have these lime green flower heads on them instead of the white, but they were white for about 2 months here earlier in the season. So at this point they will be this lime green, and then of course as summer ends they'll turn brown. You can leave those on or you can take them off, just depending on your preference. The Bar Harbor blooms on the new wood, so every year you'll get flowers on the tops here. This is definitely a 3 foot tall and 3 foot wide. My sales rep has told me that it can withstand full sun as long as you give it enough water. So especially the first couple years, they will definitely tell you when they're thirsty. They'll start to wilt quite a bit. The best thing that I would recommend is honestly just to plant them in full shade or partial shade, because that will help to keep their root systems cool like they prefer. And this is our last one that I'm going to go over today. It's another mountain hydrangea. It's called Let's Dance Can Do. Last year they named it Let's Dance Can Can, so it just depends on which you're more familiar with. But this one also has the lace cap type flower on it. It's definitely a pink color. I think the caveat on this one is, I think a lot of people are familiar with the Twist and Shout. This is the improvement of Twist and Shout. So you get larger florets on it than the Twist and Shout will have. And again, it's a mountain hydrangea, so it blooms a little more reliably here in Wisconsin. With age, the flowers will be more of this dusty pink color, and then you can leave those on or you can take them off if you prefer that. This one will bloom on the new wood, so if you or the rabbits decide to prune it down in the winter, you will still get flowers here in Wisconsin the following year. The mature height on this one is 3 to 4 feet tall, 3 to 4 feet wide. If you do decide to prune it to about 6 inches above the ground every fall, I would think it would be more of a 2 to 3 foot instead of a 4 foot. I tend to leave all of my hydrangeas up, with the exception of cutting off the flower heads, just because I get a more robust plant with a little bit stockier stems, so then they don't flop as much in the rain that we tend to get this time of year. So there you have it, some of our dwarf hydrangeas that we have here at a Mineral Point Road location. If you have any questions, feel free to email us, kandagreenhouse@gmail.com, or you can give us a call, 608-833-5244. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day.